Good evening, good afternoon, good night, and good morning. Don't worry, Donnell. I got a sneeze, and it's gonna come up at some point in time. So at some point in time, my sneeze is gonna come out.
Bless you, bless you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I was trying to hold it so I can at least get the good evening, good morning, good afternoon part out the way. But anyway. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night. What's going on, people? It is another episode of Millionaire M.A.N Cave right here on Relationship Entertainment Television, better known as RETV. We got a hell of a show for y'all. Hey, before I get into all that good stuff, before I start introductions and telling y'all about RETV, hey, did y'all know they brought back Rap City on BT?
No, I had no idea. I don't even watch BT. So
yeah, I don't watch BT.
I always had my TV on, and I was flipping to see if there was something good on. And I just happened to look as I was scrolling and said Rap City 22. And I'm like, okay. Really? And then, of course, you know, they got Tigger, look like Tigger hosting, and Remy is, I don't know if she a co-host or what, but it just came on. I just happened to flip to it. I don't know. You got a DJ.
To be honest with you,
I thought they made a whole career out of just doing the same thing over and over again.
Has he, dog?
I thought they stopped making videos.
Only right. I mean, they come on YouTube. They put videos on YouTube now.
Right.
Yeah, they don't put them on TV like that no more. But actually, okay. So yeah. Anyway, so they I just didn't know if y'all knew that or not, because I just happened to look up and it's on. I don't really watch BET either unless it's something to catch my interest. And when I saw Rap City 22, I was like, let me click on it and see what happens. And just Tigger, Remy, Tiggo biddies out. Anywho, back to the show. Go ahead.
Hey, real quick, I was gonna say, have y'all been watching it like regular TV, and they be just like on the slide be talking about our generation the way we talk and making jokes?
Nah.
We're considered old now.
Yeah.
I know I am. I'm almost 50.
Yeah, my daughter always say we old, you know, especially if you say, talk to any of y'all kids, and tell them what year y'all was born in. And they could be like, damn, that was a long time ago. The 1900s, they like that. If you think about it, the 1900s, you be like, that does sound John old when it's like 2022 here it is. So,
I mean, but think about it. Like, we are 40 plus years away from when we were born, right? That's a long time. Like, if you think back when you was young, what you could imagine happening in 40 years, 40 years is hard to imagine when you 8 years old, when you 10 years old. Like,
yes.
That's why I said, talk to y'all kids, all of them. I don't care, even the teenagers, they can be like, damn, you old, Dad.
They be like, that's cap.
Exactly.
I was like, you mean you putting on a hat?
Right. No cap.
This cap.
Hey, look, I remember being like, you swelling like
well.
Right. Welling. Yeah.
Like Wellington. It's like Mr. Wellington.
Yeah. Wellington Park.
I told y'all about the girl at the football game a couple weeks ago who got into an argument with her uncle over the word glizzy. He was like, ain't that a gun? She was like, no, that's a hot dog. So yeah, they don't even call it our
generation. Our generation is still the best.
That's right.
I agree. And we got into the whole conversation and debate about which generation had the best music too. I still think the 70s is the best music.
Hey man, Rap City 22 on as we speak.
That's what I said. That's why I happened to look up. I just turned to it and I'm like, okay, it's Remy and Tigger on there. I could never stand Tigger when he was back home in DC. I really don't like Tigger now, but you know, I don't know. He just seemed, I don't know.
I don't understand the fact that he's literally made his whole career doing the same thing.
Exactly. Well, he been on the web.
He a DJ, he a radio personality now, ain't
he? Is he?
He been a radio personality.
That's what I'm saying. He always been a radio personality. Like,
right. But now I guess he in I wouldn't say a bigger market, but he in Atlanta, I guess. And then he been doing the shows on BET, but who knows how long with the same type of concept. Anyhow,
we're free at. Sorry,
AJ and Free. They supposed to be bringing that back. Supposedly, they supposed to be bringing 106 and Park back, from my understanding. So,
but are they bringing Free back though?
You stupid. It's supposed to be AJ and Free. It's supposed to be AJ and Free.
Okay.
Last I heard it was AJ and Free. They're supposed to be revamping that show. So I don't know. Millionaire M.A.N Cave, 8 p.m. Right here on Relationship Entertainment Television. If y'all have not already done so, make sure y'all go ahead and download the RETV Live app on your Roku, so that way y'all can watch the show, all the episodes, all the good stuff, live on air on your Roku, RETV Live on Roku. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube page. We appreciate y'all for watching on YouTube. If y'all are watching on YouTube, make sure y'all hit the subscribe and hit the bell so that way y'all notified each and every time a brand new episode or any show for that matter comes on to RETV. If y'all got questions, y'all can send them into info@re-tv.net, info@re-tv.net. We got a lot to get through tonight, so I ain't gonna talk no more. Mike, what we got going on?
Man, just regular.
Wait.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, introductions.
My bad. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I forgot what you said. As always, my brother from another mother, Millionaire Mike is in the building. What's going on, Mike? That's what I meant to say.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm chilling, man. Got another Tuesday night going on, and I'm in the house. That's all I can say.
That's what's up. Mr. PC, aka Mr. Politically Correct, aka John B. Ham, aka Daddy Confessions. What's going on, John? What's good?
What's good, everybody?
He got a on the chain. He changed that boy quick.
I'm quick on that. So yeah.
Mr. Daddy Confessions, Mr. Y'all gonna stop bullying me.
I'm chilling.
Mr. Magoo.
Just just wanted to let y'all know y'all can check out the new episode of Daddy Confessions that dropped today. I don't know. Boop, boop,
okay,
there you go.
Hold
It's about being Nigerian. I don't got nothing to do with that. I just talked to some Nigerians. They told me what it's like to be Nigerian. So check it out.
You Nigerian, John?
I ain't never been to Nigeria. I ate some Nigerian food. Jollof rice is my anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
So
check out Daddy Confessions. All y'all's podcasts, applications. Y'all can check out Daddy Confessions. John hosted talking about all the daddy issues and all things fatherhood. Daddy Confessions. Yeah, there you go. All right, that's enough publicity, John. You ain't on our as always, straight out of the DMV, Mr. Reasonable is in the building. What's going on, Donnell? Mr. Throwing money everywhere.
I got air money. I got a lot of it too. I'm good, yeah. I'm chilling.
You say you good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
You got enough money?
That's all we getting today. We getting A-Rab money
in front of me.
Hey, Mike, what we talking about today?
Oh, let's see. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. First up, I was thinking about that whole. Did y'all hear about Kim Kardashian's deal?
No. What happened to Kim Kardashian?
She had to pay a fine, a $1.3 million fine to the SEC because she crypto. So she had posted she had put up a post about doing crypto, doing something with crypto, and she didn't disclose that she got paid for that. She got paid $250,000 for that.
So she did. Now that she had to pay $1 million and something for
she no longer made that $250K. She so apparently she put a little tiny hashtag at the bottom of it that said this is an ad, but the SEC said nah, that ain't enough. You're Kim Kardashian. You need to let people know. Say what?
But was it Instagram? They regulating it? Was it Instagram, I'm assuming?
I think it was Instagram.
So they regulating Instagram like that though? That they looking to see how much people getting paid, or if they looking to see if it was posted, if it was an ad or not?
Yeah, well, so it's advertisements. If you're getting paid for giving your opinion and giving your advice, that's an advertisement. And so I guess they have their regulations for ads.
Well, and I think with stuff like crypto, you got to remember, like, every time somebody talk about it, every time somebody shines some light on it, especially celebrities, like, it make it go up. Like, people, you know what I'm saying? Because that is a semi-unregulated market, like, really an unregulated market. Like, whatever people do, they trying to regulate it whatever way they can. So,
no bull.
Yeah, because that's I ain't even gonna jump on my soapbox because that's the one thing. One thing that I don't care about the situation is the fact that they feel like the government already feel like they get their hands in everything as it is,
right?
Regardless of the fact of how much money you make, they gonna get their hands on something any way it is. So now you trying to jump into the crypto field just so you can make sure you get your hands on the crypto money as well. Like
yeah. So like I said, I don't think it's that they trying to grab the crypto. I think it's advertising.
Oh no, they are. I know the Kim Kardashian thing. You're right. That's advertising.
Okay.
I'm saying in general, they trying to get their hands on crypto.
Oh yeah, you know it.
The taxing of it. So that's
too much. Yeah, it's too much money in it.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Too much money in it.
Yeah. Way too much money.
California
knows how to party.
Have y'all seen? Knows how to party. But have y'all seen that whole California deal? It was a North California high school that they did something with the slave auction. The football team.
Didn't Donnell say something like that earlier?
Yeah. So it was a bunch of players. Well, they said several players from the football team had did a mock slave auction with black people in it. There was 3 black kids in it too, and so they did that and ended up having to get suspended. And because it was so many of them, they had to suspend or forfeit the rest of their season.
See, what I couldn't tell from the article was whether the black kids was like lining up to be a part of it as a joke, or whether they were like,
no,
they just happened to be in the locker room and the white kid, we don't even know if it was white kids. I'm assuming they were white kids. I shouldn't make that assumption. Was yelling out dollar amounts.
So I saw an article that the one that I looked at said that the video had 3 black students in their underwear standing up against the wall as the as people were yelling out prices and so forth.
It's crazy.
I got problems.
Yeah. I heard on the radio that one of the kids beat that ass.
Oh, for real?
Oh, I would have.
One of the white kids on there?
They didn't specify race. They just said, you know what I'm saying, like when kids got wind of it and didn't take it too kindly.
I believe it.
Yeah, see, Demeter said it was reenacting the slave auction. That's why, yes, Demeter, exactly. That's exactly what it was. But so I got questions. First of all, where did this happen in the school that there was no teacher, administrator, or nothing else around?
The locker room.
Probably in the locker room.
All right, got you. Number 1. 2, what black student in their right ever loving mind stripping down to be like, yo, let's do this. Y'all can go ahead and act like
like no clue.
Kids these days built different, man.
No clue.
That, and if you are the minority in the situation, you know what I'm saying, bullying, like I firmly believe pressure.
They might have felt pressured.
It could have been, you know what I'm saying? Or, bullying it could be a thing. Like, I didn't go to school with like no 6 foot, 300 nothing pound, pink child, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure they exist. You know what I'm saying? Because you see them playing college football all the time. Right. Where those kids are, and if you're the minority, like, you might not say anything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might just go with the flow.
We might have to. I might have to get jumped because I just don't see myself saying, "All right, you got me. I'm gonna go ahead and strip down, and y'all can go ahead and hee ha."
And that might not be the first time. That might not be the first time something like that has happened. Not necessarily a reenactment, but you know what I'm saying. Like if he's constantly getting bullied,
That's exactly how it's school guns and everything else. Not condoning it, not saying you should. Again, that's why the warning was at the beginning of the show. Not condoning it, not saying you should. However, I understand why people, when they get bullied, decide to come to school and decide that they want to, blow that bad boy up.
Hey man,
by the way,
what time it is. I'm like Goldie, you know what I'm saying? What he say? He said, the name of the game. We can handle this like some gentlemen, or we can get into some gangster shit.
You already know Donnell,
that's right.
AKA Mr. Petty.
By the way,
that's another name for Donnell.
Has that warning always played at the beginning?
So
No.
actually, the warning plays on YouTube. Yes, it
Oh,
is actually
Oh, for real?
on YouTube. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But considering John was telling women that they need to let men be happy.
I did say that last week, didn't I? You know what?
Who knows what other stuff comes out of people's mouths? He was like, let's just go ahead and throw this warning so that way we are not held liable for anything that man. No, I'm joking.
But I'm with John on that whole thing. I'm thinking that these kids are built differently, and if they grew up in that atmosphere, like a majority atmosphere versus a minority atmosphere, if they because we don't know what their high school is like. It could be a majority white high school.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, and they may have grown up in a majority white area, they may not. I'm just gonna say kids are built different.
I get what you're saying.
They don't always realize what they're doing.
They are built different because I've had this conversation with people in my circle in general about how we chose to move our kids out into the suburbs because we want them to have a better education and to have things a little bit different than we had, growing up or whatever. And in doing that, we put them in situations that we were not exposed to when we were their age. We might have been exposed to certain races, certain racisms, certain things as far as racism is concerned, or certain biases and things like that. Racial, exactly. Going different places and so forth. But as far as schools are concerned, and I can't speak for everybody, but I know exactly where I went to school. I mean, well, John, you went to a different type of school, so you might experience a different type of thing than the rest of us actually experience.
Yeah.
Did you go to Duke Ellington or something?
Nah, man, I went to boarding school.
Yeah, he went.
Oh, that's right.
I went, but I started off. So I was in DC in public school at Banneker Senior High School. Shout out to Banneker. And it was mostly black people, right? Yeah. So my experience all the way until 9th grade was all black, all the time.
So go ahead, my bad.
And then I went to boarding school where I was one of 5 people of color in my whole graduating class. So yeah, man. I experienced. I'm saying I saw the differences. I know how crazy it can be. Like
I would
ignorant comments and stuff.
But I would think that your whole mindset about black and white relations would be different in comparison to us who went to majority black schools just in general.
Right.
I mean, what different how? Like honestly, interestingly enough, I just took a test yesterday. One of those.
How white are you?
No, implicit bias. It was an implicit bias test. So we was, I was with this group of people and we decided we was going to take this test and we was going to talk about it a little bit. Now, my implicit bias is that I have a strong bias towards black people. And I think that it is so I prefer being around black people than European Americans. And that I see that as due in part because of my experiences, not necessarily overcompensating, but realizing the necessity of being around more people who look like me as often as I possibly can. Right. So those kids, you know what I'm saying, in that school, if it is a school where most of the kids are white,
we don't know.
They are probably having a hard time figuring out who they are in the larger group of people, you know what I'm saying, trying to understand themselves in the context of everybody else. All of those things are very real issues that I think people go through. But on the flip side of that, I just also saw an article recently about this, or I heard a story recently about this black kid who ended up going to a HBCU. But he felt like he was being bullied because he wasn't black enough, or because he was interested in things that other black people at the school wasn't interested in. So really being into anime and stuff like that. He felt like he was an outcast at the school because that wasn't the majority of what the black kids were at this HBCU. I was about to say,
trust me, it's some black kids at HBCUs who are interested in some of that same stuff.
Yeah,
I know. So he didn't find his tribe, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to put it. He didn't find his tribe.
Yeah. And probably a way to speak up for the simple fact that, like John just said, it's not the majority, and they, a lot of people don't think it's cool, so they just probably ain't say that.
Right.
Yeah, man, because there's some of everybody everywhere. And our group, you know, the our culture is so diverse now. You know,
Right.
I mean, you could find people of like mind just about anywhere you go now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it used to be.
So
where,
what
you
if,
know,
what if? I know we had this conversation after. So for those who don't know, we have this is y'all get literally a snippet of what actual Millionaire Man Cave is. We have a text group. We text. We got the whole Facebook group. Y'all ain't on the Facebook group. Men only. Y'all can join the Facebook group because what goes on in Millionaire Man Cave, the Facebook group stays in Millionaire Man Cave, the Facebook group, so on and so forth. But we have conversations all the times about all different types of stuff. Literally all different types of stuff. And even after this, after the show, we have conversations about stuff. And so the other week we was actually having a conversation about pronouns. So we actually seen John change his pronoun before to he, him, and I, or some shit like that. I don't know. We had a whole conversation about pronouns. What if, I hope God it never comes to this. What if people start identifying as different races or different colors? We already know Rachel Dolezal did it, and some other idiots out there who been trying
to Kablasian. Remember Kablasian?
Yeah. But I'm just saying,
Tiger Woods.
What if you had to start addressing people and you was like, "Yo, I identify as Asian, so you now have to. You have to now address me as Ty the Asian or something like that." I don't know. Like, what if you
go ahead change your moniker?
Like
change your moniker to Ty the Asian.
Yeah, but they asking you down there, what are you? Not what do you identify? Well, I guess it could be the same.
Yeah, it's what you identify.
So if I mark the box Caucasian,
black,
show up
still
and
be
black.
associated as Spanish or Hispanic.
True. Yeah, they got Afro Latinos.
The census, you know, always in applications and everything, they always specify Black, Latino, or not Black Latino.
Yeah, which I never understood because it asks you, are you white, Black, Asian, or anything else?
Well,
then are you Latino or not Latino?
Yeah, but it's a very real thing, right? Like the idea of being a white Latino or Hispanic, or being a Black Latino or Hispanic, right? Is someone who identifies more with their European roots than what their African root, and it's a very real thing. Like, matter of fact, I'll put it to you. I just had a meeting.
I know.
Wait, I just had a meeting at work. I just had a meeting at work where I got called out because a lot of stuff I do deals with numbers. We break down numbers on all kinds of things. One of the things I put on the paper was Hispanic, and I had a Brazilian woman in the room who said, "You forgot Latino. I am not Hispanic." So very specific, two different things in her mind.
Gotcha.
She's not from Hispaniola, right? Like, it's a place, it's a real, it's a region. Okay. That's where Hispanic comes from. So that's not her culture. So she considers herself to be Latino, but she does not consider herself to be Hispanic, nor does she consider herself to be Black or white. So she just checks Latino or Latina.
Interesting.
So she skipped the whole section of are you Black, white, Asian?
You don't have to fill it in. You can just be, I'm Hispanic.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, I'm Latina. She doesn't have to, and it's a very real thing. Like, people are, we have.
But you know what? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I remember this conversation. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but we was in college, and so you got American, you got African American, and he was like, he want to just be considered just Black. You know what I'm saying? Not either or. You know what I mean? I just found that to be interesting. You know what I mean? Because I guess most Black people, if you're born here in the United States, you're African American,
right? But not anymore, because so that's because there are so many Africans who are immigrating to the United States, and so technically, and on a technicality level, there and now a lot of forms say PC. Black/African American, because technically you can, Donnell, Ty, Mike, you guys can be African American if you want, but there is also a group of people who come to this country who are not American. They are Africans who live in America, and they get American citizenship. They are African American. They are technically African American, just like so they could be Nigerian American. They could be Senegalese American. You know what I'm saying? Same way you can be Brazilian American, you can be, Cuban,
Irish
you can be
American.
Cuban American, Irish American.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what we are. You know what I'm saying?
I'm black.
Okay.
I'm confused that I'm black.
It's that whole PC stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's all
I'm
that
confused
PC
and I'm
stuff.
black. Politically correct for sure, because I'm confused and I'm black. That's what I'm leaving it at.
I go with black.
Yeah.
I always bet on black.
Oh, hey, I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
you don't got 50-50 chance, but it's better odds. So.
Yeah, always bet on black.
Exactly.
Hey, look, have y'all seen the new Wakanda trailer? It just came out like yesterday, I think.
The newest one.
The newest one. It just
I
came
went
out
to
yesterday.
go see Woman King the other week, and I think they played it then.
Did they? I didn't see it at the movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they played it then.
Do you have it, Ty?
Wait, before I play it, please don't shut our video down because we playing something that don't belong to us.
Oh yeah, copyrights. We are not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't own the rights to this.
I mean, half of this ain't even going to actually be in the movie. You know that, right? This is Marvel.
That is true. Yeah, they do have a habit of doing it.
Only the most broken people.
But I will say I'm excited to see it too.
Can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukulkan, the feather serpent god. Killing him will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
We know what you whisper. They have lost their protector. Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
I know.
That's dope. That's dope. I ain't seen that one.
Is it weird?
Yeah, buddy.
Is it weird that John give me chills? Like, I don't know why. Like, the first one did too. I get excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. You know what I'm saying? No, that's it. You doing the X symbol, Mike. It's Wakanda like this, bro. Not like this.
Okay.
To the chest.
X gonna give it to him.
Sean, that joint looks a beast.
Nah, man, I think that joint is hot. And for me, like, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is that it's got so many like people of color in it. And I know some of them might be Hispanic. Some of them might be black. Some of them might be African American.
That's why they say black and brown people. That way
some of them might be Latino. You know what I'm saying?
Latina.
We don't Latinx. We don't know. Okay,
that's not
the point. There are some blue people in that movie as well. By the
Smurfs.
way, blue people.
Smurfs.
What's Latinx, John?
Man, you don't know that. So the X. They put the X behind it now because they're trying to ungender the words. So Latina is supposed to be female. Latino is supposed to be male. And so they decided that they wanted to get rid of that. Not all. I've had people on my podcast talk to me about it. Like they don't believe in it. But so they use the X as a way to de-genderize the pronouns.
I'm glad you said that, John, because I was
what we live.
my mind went straight to, you know what I'm saying, like the Latinos was trying to break away from their European heritage.
Malcolm X, Latinx.
It's like Latinx.
That reasoning, hey, you can't act like you ain't never heard it before. That reasoning can be valid.
Latinx.
Exactly. Yeah, Holmes, we Latinx.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
oh, sorry.
With that Latin unknown, homie.
Okay, so we can't continue though. We have not talked any football yet.
Oh,
we have not talked any football.
I'm giving football season over. Okay.
Okay, so for Washington Commander fans, football season feels like it's over because there's no hope. There's no hope.
We did win one game. We won one game.
There's no hope.
Yo, did y'all see that meme about the bag? You saw the meme about the bag of garbage with the
yes. It had the black. Did y'all see it?
Oh, with the black uniform. It had
so it had the black, and then when you expanded it, it was a garbage bag.
Sad. There's also a clip of two Washington offensive players blocking each other.
Oh, but they've also put out a Dallas one too.
Yeah,
I've seen a Dallas one too with two Dallas players. I think they were playing Tampa at the time. I don't know what year, but it was two Dallas players that did the same thing.
I know we only four. Put it up, Ty.
What?
The comment that's in there.
Oh, the comment. I don't see. Oh, we only 4 games in.
Yes, we are only 4 games in. But you know what? Them was some horrible 4 games. 3 of the 4 games was pretty bad.
And all 4 of them because we barely got past Jacksonville.
Every year I get excited for another year of football, and I want them to do okay. I'm not saying they're going to Super Bowl. I ain't like them Cowboy fan that's already taking their team to the Super Bowl this year. Like they just be real unrealistic.
every year.
So what advice? Okay, real talk. What advice would you offer to the organization to turn it around?
Okay, so I feel like we need a younger staff. I feel like our coaching staff needs to be this new generation of coaches because they're the ones having the most success to me from what I've seen. Now, Andy Reid, he's an anomaly. You know, because he does all the gadget plays he always has. But I feel like it's a younger crowd now, and I would like to see them really pursue and go after Byron Leftwich. That's me though.
And I wonder, Mike, that doesn't have to do with the idea of like those younger coaches probably listening and having more conversations with their key players. Because I feel like the older coaches, that's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's not about like really bringing in your key players and really, you know, taking them, you know, to a place where you're like, okay, well, you the coach on the field. I need you to understand how to handle this game. Like everything has to happen from the sideline for us. And that's part of the problem. Like, it's like you need to listen to what we say and don't deviate from that. So and I feel like that's a problem we have sometimes.
I'm looking for a video I found earlier for Jonathan Allen was actually speaking to one of the ESPN podcasts. Okay. And he pretty much was saying something very similar, John. He was like, wow, you know, when he played at Alabama, this, that, and the third, everybody bought into Nick Saban. And that in college, that's pretty much all you have to do is buy into what the coaches say and make it happen. He said, however, in the NFL, it goes beyond just buying into, you know, the program, the scheme. He said there's a lot more that goes into it than just buying in. If everybody buys in, that's great. But if everybody's still going out there and not performing like they're supposed to, when you at the NFL level, you're supposed to be the greatest of the greatest.
Right.
And if you're not out there performing as such, then and it's already known that people come to Washington and don't perform as such. They get the check and they bounce. So he like, you know, if people come and they're not performing in the manner in which they're supposed to, then yeah, we could continue to suck. But he also said he hears the boos, he understands the boos, but he also said keep that same energy when they start winning. Which I'm still waiting.
The issue I have with that right there, Ty, is like Washington does not have like an elite player on that team to say, you know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is you had your, I don't know, your Deion Sanders and your what's my man name that came from New England? They got the $100 million deal.
Albert Hainsworth got the
Hainsworth.
He came from New England.
He don't like he would be like the example of what you just gave because of all of the good things he did in New England. But you know what I mean? Like I just feel like there, even what I'm saying, like our best player to me would probably be Terry McLaurin. Yeah. And I was just thinking about this today, as a matter of fact. Like he's still like he's a good player, but he's not an elite like a Tyreek Hill. He's not like a freaking what's my man name? Debo Samuel.
Answer me this though, Donnell. Could he be if he had the right quarterback?
I was just thinking that.
If he had the right quarterback, because
I was just thinking that.
Truth be told, honestly, I think Washington has a very talented team. I think it just goes to the fact of one, we don't have a right quarterback, and then two, I'm gonna have to agree with Mike. We don't have the coaching that can get us there. And the reason I will say it's coaching, usually I'd be like, nah, it ain't coaching because coaches ain't out on the field playing, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Look at Jacksonville. Jacksonville was 3-1. Jacksonville was 3-1, and they just got a brand new coach this year. They had Urban Meyer last year who ran them into the ground. They got a new coach this year. Now they 3-1. The Giants just got a new coach. Now they what 3-0 or almost 4? Were they 4-0? 3-0. 4-0.
No. Hold on. You talking about the Giants or the Eagles?
No, it wasn't the Giants. The Giants got a new
coach.
The
Giants. But what's their record?
They like 3-1 or 4-1. They what? Or are they undefeated?
No, they're not undefeated.
It definitely ain't 3.
Philly's the only undefeated team.
Regardless, they got a hell of a better schedule than better damn record than the Commanders. I'm looking at all the people who got new coaches who are actually doing a lot better than the Commanders, and we on our 3rd year with Ron Rivera. Nothing against Ron Rivera. I think Ron Rivera brings in respect. He brings in some discipline, things like that.
Time to go.
But we need some fresh eyes, some new talent, something that can actually get these players to perform to their best capabilities.
It's been 3 years. It's time for Ron to go. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say that because I'm a Ron Rivera fan. I like Ron Rivera when he was in Carolina because y'all know I live in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So when I moved to North Carolina, because I'm a hometown type of guy, the Commanders are always my team, but I paid a lot of attention so I could talk trash with the Carolina Panther fans. Right. I've always been a Ron Rivera fan.
So I respect Ron Rivera in regards to what he's doing in the front office.
Yeah.
But in terms of what he's doing on the football field, I'm not really sold. I'm not sold on Ron Rivera or Jack Del Rio.
I'm with you with that. I'm definitely with you with that. As far as front office is concerned, round of applause. I feel like even when RG3, and I'm not a RG3 fan, but even when he was at the starting QB, you know what I'm saying? Like we had like Stephen, I can't remember his last name, but he was like an offensive right tackle or something like that. Wasn't the greatest blocker, but he did a job. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like between who was that? Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan, like they made like these adjustments, and we went on this winning streak. Right? That was the year they went to the playoffs and played Seattle in the first round, and RG3 got hurt. Mm-hmm. But like you know what I'm saying, like those to me, like those are the types of things that matter. When you're trying to win, when you're trying to have a winning program. Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like I got tired of Jay Gruden doing the same third down, passing to the running back. You know what I'm saying in the flats. Like, come on, man! Like that's so predictable.
Yeah, it is.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with our offense is that it gets very predictable. The fact that we can go the whole first half and only have 30 yards is ridiculous.
So again, and this was a behind the scenes type of moment for all you people tuning in today. We do talk offline. And one of the things that we've discussed and talked about is Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel, they utilized in the first game, and he was doing some dynamic ass stuff.
Yep.
Why not why have they not gone back to that?
It makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense.
I will tell you exactly why.
Go ahead, John.
He's a receiver. He's a receiver who has a running back background too.
I'll tell you what happened. He got too big. He did too much in that first game. The coaches was like, he's a good player, but team is not about him. I bet that's what happened.
Hey, we gotta go to commercial. I'm done, John. We got I'm not disagreeing with you, but we gotta go to commercial.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demita Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demita Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?
Tune in to Millionaire M.A.N, only on Relationship Entertainment Television, Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Okay, I figured it out. First of all, welcome back, Millionaire M.A.N, Relationship Entertainment Television, right here on RETV. Make sure y'all go ahead and download the RETV Live app on Roku if you have not already done so that way you can watch it via Roku. And if you haven't already done so as well, y'all can actually go ahead and subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button and the bell so that way you are notified each and every time a brand new episode comes on, especially Millionaire M.A.N, which is every Tuesday right here, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. To do so. Oh, what I figured out right quick here, I figured Rap City is on because I think the BET Awards come on. BET Awards come on tonight, so that's why Rap City is on. That's why it's a special thing. Cause I'm like, why they got so many damn people on one episode of Rap City? God dog. But anyway, so yeah, that's the BET Awards come on tonight. That's why the old Rap City thing. Anywho's, hey Donnell, we got a hell of a show tonight. We got to get into. I know you got it. What you got for word to the wise?
Oh man, I got words to the wise. Ladies, make sure y'all hydrate. Let me tell you why. Gotta hydrate. let me tell you why. So, you know, you might have a good sex session, you know what I'm saying, that might go on for a good little while. And if you dehydrated and that throat dry, chances are your breath stink. You hear me? If your throat dry, your breath stink. Listen, we ain't doing no pillow talking afterwards. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to have no silent whispers, no silent killers. You hear me?
Pillow talking. No pillow talking
after you. You know what I'm saying? If your throat dry, it'll be a hard pass for me.
You'd be like Warren G. You'd be like, hold up.
Like, man, stop playing. I'm like, what's
you know what, we got a nurse on tonight. That may be a question for her. Like, it may be a question for her. Ask her when she come on in a few minutes. Ask her about women and their throat being dry. Yeah. Ask her
Does that cause bad breath?
See if she got an answer.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Because I'm gonna tell you, before you go further, I was somewhere else with that. When you started that intro to the Word to the Wise, I don't know if anybody else was there,
when
but
he said throat dry, I was like,
yeah, you talking about heavy in this sex session, throat dry. I was somewhere else.
completely.
You a bully. You a bully for that one.
Hey, yo, that is so stupid. He was like throat dry. I'm done.
She can't spit on it.
Right. Can't even.
Yo, somebody at the door. We gotta let somebody in at the door.
Mouth.
It might be our guest for the night. I'm done. Let's get these commercials in so we can get this. I'm done.
Hey, it's your girl Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on RETV every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Millionaire Man Cave right here on Relationship Entertainment Television, better known as RETV. If y'all have not already done so, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel so that way you get notified each and every time a brand new episode of Millionaire Man Cave comes on, along with all the other plethora of shows that y'all have seen commercials for that come on RETV. So make sure y'all check it out on YouTube, but you can also go to and download on Roku as well. Download RETV Live on Roku, so that way you can do that. Yo, it is the time of the week we get into our questions of the week. We get into our topic of the week. I think this week we got a special guest that's been ringing our doorbell. We're going to have to let him in just a few moments. But if y'all got questions, y'all want to send them in to info@re-tv.net, info@re-tv.net. Right there at the bottom of the screen below Mike is where you can actually see re-tv, info@re-tv.net. Send in your questions. Put them in the chat. We'll get them. We got a special guest tonight. Mike, you want to introduce our guest?
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to say I'm glad we got in both sets of commercials off the top, because we do have a hot topic tonight where we're going to talk about health issues in the Black community. And for tonight, we have a special guest. We have a registered nurse, Brianna Middleton, who's going to join us. And I believe she's been ringing the doorbell. She's probably tired of standing outside and ready to come in now.
Welcome, Miss Brianna Middleton, Nurse Brianna Middleton.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We good.
Yes.
As you can tell, I don't know if you've been watching or listening to the show. We a little lit, so you might be a little too chill for us right now. But we got a serious topic tonight, so let's go ahead and bring it down. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we talk of Black health tonight, and Well, I don't know. Do you want to introduce yourself, Brianna?
Yes, tell us about yourself, Miss Brianna.
Yeah, tell us a little something about yourself. Put
Roll
you on the spot.
Tide, Roll Tide.
Spotlight.
Where's Black? Black should be on the show because he see Roll Tide. He'll have a whole damn connection. He loved Alabama, but Roll Tide. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Roll Tide. My name is Brianna Middleton. I am a registered nurse. I graduated from Augusta University in 2019. I currently work in an ICU and intensive care unit. Worked there at the start of COVID and just haven't looked back. I've been a nurse for going on 4 years, 4 years in May. And I enjoy what I do. Some days more than others.
There you go. Hey, everybody's job we enjoy more than some days more than others, right?
Completely understand that one. Completely understand that one.
Yeah. But I'm glad we have you on here, Brianna. What were you gonna say, Ty?
No, I was gonna say Nicole welcomes you as she's excited to see there's a woman in the cave as well. But so the rule actually goes, Brianna. We don't invite people on the show who can't, handle being with a bunch of dudes at the same time. Because this is like a unfiltered show.
Unfiltered.
So you may get some questions that you may not be ready for. Just an FYI. But
I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. We are not doing any erectile dysfunction questions tonight.
No, wait.
None.
No dry throat questions either. Damn, Doc, man, she done took your question. Like your question off the table. No dry throat questions for the ladies.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So real quick before we get into the rest of this black health, Brianna, is there any correlation with dry throats and bad breath?
If there is medically, I don't know. Okay.
Halitosis.
Chronic halitosis.
Exactly.
Okay. But no, okay, let's get back on the
serious
tip. We had to. Oh, on a serious tip, we talk about health, health in general, but as everybody knows, health in the black community is different than health in other communities. For the most part, we don't take care of ourselves as much as other races. Well, I can't say any other race, but as much as the majority race out there. And there are things that affect us differently on a scale as a whole for black people. And so, I do want to touch on a few subjects, and I didn't want us to be on here just shooting the shit and just talking out the side of our neck. I wanted to have a professional on here, so that's why we have our professional RN. And let's get started with high blood pressure.
Hey Mike, no offense, but that's what Millionaire M.A.N cave is. We shoot the shit no matter who's on the show. So if she can't handle it, no, I'm joking. As you can see, Demeter said, "Who snorted? Is that a health condition as well?"
That was me. It was me. It was me.
Yeah, that was funny as shit too.
My bad. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. You had a question.
No, so we always hear about high blood pressure. What the hell is high blood pressure?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Okay. It's known as hypertension, which is also high blood pressure. But my nurse dictionary says that hypertension is a condition in which the blood vessels are persistently raised. The pressure is persistently raised. High blood pressure is a very labile number. Stress can raise it. Eating wrong can raise it. Being depressed, anxious, anything can raise it. Anything can lower it. It's very labile. But hypertension means it's just raised inside the blood vessels for a long period of time.
And this will cause problems. And as we all know, with us.
Yeah, I was about to say, Nurse Brianna. What should we call you? Should we call you Nurse Brianna, Bree, as you have on the screen?
Rachel Gunn, RN.
I guess to call you.
You can call me Bree. Bree is fine.
Bree. Okay. So for those of us who aren't as medically educated as you, can you break that? I know you got the nurse dictionary there, but men are a lot simpler creatures than y'all women. Can you break it down for us a little in simpler terms, please?
Okay, let's see.
Shut up, Toya.
Hold on. No. Toya said, bless her heart dealing with us.
She wants you to tag her in.
You're just a bunch of patients. That's just how I'm looking at it. A bunch
There
of
you
patients
go.
talking nonsense, you know.
There you go.
It's fine. So first of all, your body is made up of blood vessels. So little, I guess, like linear looking things, and that blood flows through them. It should stay at a consistent pressure to keep everything in the body functioning the way it's supposed to, make sure blood gets to every vital organ that needs blood. Now, if the pressure in that little tube gets too high, it starts messing with stuff. It blocks off the flow. Your brain won't get all the oxygen you need. You can lead to clots, or your heart won't get everything it needs, and it can lead to cardiovascular disease, or your legs don't get all the blood flow they need, and it can lead to swelling and make it hard to walk and things like that.
I'm gonna throw. I appreciate that answer. Thank you. I'm gonna throw a little.
Yeah, you gotta dumb it down for us.
I'm gonna throw a little wrench in this because I have my question is one that I am not sure is easily answered. You could tell me otherwise. I really do believe that as Black people, we always live in a heightened state of like pressure, like things are just heightened for us at all times. And so my question is, when they have these baseline numbers, like how do they know what my baseline number is? My baseline number from when I'm young might be different than somebody else's baseline number. You know what I'm saying? So like when you tell me what a regular blood pressure is, and you say I have high blood pressure, I could tell you my blood pressure been high my whole life because I'm Black in America. And I deal with a lot.
Right.
Like,
yeah, deal with that.
We have
baseline numbers of them Europeans, but go ahead.
That's right.
It's
some Caucasian.
Who are we comparing ourselves to? Go ahead, Bree. Go ahead, Bree. My bad.
Who are we comparing ourselves to?
No. I want you to answer the question. I'm saying we already know who we comparing. We already know who we comparing it to. But go ahead.
Okay. So the numbers you see, there's like 4 stages, and the numbers you see are guidelines. And we would love to all stay in those guidelines. Is it realistic? No. So everybody lives at a different blood pressure. Everybody lives at a different blood sugar. You live at different, what's normal for you. Does that mean it's healthy? No. But has your body adapted to that number that you live at? Yes.
So is that a problem then? If your body has adapted to it and you're used to being, your blood pressure being X, Y, and Z for, like John said, all his life, then do I have to change my diet? Do I have to exercise? Do I have to do something different if my body's already adapted to it and I'm good? I ain't had no issues.
If you want shortened lifespan.
But I feel
you
like
might not have had any issues yet. Some of the issues that hypertension cause can be seen later on in life, like past 60, or I think one of my research articles that I read was like 55, things like that. It doesn't have to, it's not something that's going to hit right away. Gotcha. It's just like diabetes. Some people don't find out they have diabetes. They've lived with diabetes type 2 for years, and they don't find out until they accidentally go into the hospital. Just because your body has adapted to it doesn't mean it's going to last very long. It's just made short, what am I trying to say? Short corrections for the time being until it can't correct any longer.
Okay. I can dig that. And I'm glad I'm glad you brought up diabetes, because that was our next topic.
Before we get into diabetes, how do we stop the hypertension though?
Oh,
meditate. Sex.
So
yes,
what are some good? Yes, sex is the all heal for everything.
I mean, sometimes you gotta work hard to get the sex, and then that just raise your blood pressure.
It's exercise.
The banana cleaner.
Yo, I saw that. I was like, what is this thing?
So sex, you got your exercise, you got your endorphins. I mean, it's the all heal for everything.
It is
all heal. But I mean, exercising, modifying your diet, losing weight, no alcohol, no tobacco,
none.
I believe in moderation. I believe in moderation.
I have a pre-existing condition. I'm overweight. and that's been pre-existing for a long time for me. So don't laugh about pre-existing condition. So the question is, since my body has started to and this, I've seen this before, where people lose a lot of weight and they die because their body is shocked into, they don't know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? They blood pressure change, they, you know, all these things change in their body, and so it's like you learned how to live with your you know, your pre-existing condition, your comorbidities, whatever you want to call them. And then all of a sudden you change your life, and you know, you might get a thinner face, but you get all the way thin, like in the movie Thinner, which you probably don't know nothing about, Bree, until you die, and then you just gone. Like that happened to people. I've seen it.
I have not. Just saying. But I mean, typically, if that's the route that when your provider comes up with like a care plan and how you're going to go about losing all the weight and changing your diet and yada yada yada, they like put in what's known as healthy weight loss. So you should only be losing X amount of pounds in 4 weeks and things like that.
I was gonna say
30
John,
pounds in a month like that.
That might be unwanted weight loss. No, seriously. Like your body could, I don't know. I'll let the professional talk. I'm sorry.
No, I got what you. I know where you're going with that.
I've only heard of unwanted weight loss I've ever heard of was stress and crack. Those are the two unwanted weight losses I've ever heard of.
There you go. It always comes back to the sex.
As TLC say, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Not with a dry throat.
How about
Mike, you got a second question?
Oh, yeah. Donnell trying to spit. All right. So diabetes. So as black people call it, sugar.
Right. Exactly.
What the hell is sugar? Oh, go ahead, Donna. What's your
question? Go ahead. I'll answer.
All right. What's sugar? What is diabetes? What's that?
So there's two types. What's sugar?
It's the same thing. Diabetes is sugar.
What I was gonna ask was like I've heard like, you know, advertisements saying, you know, type 2 diabetes is reversible. Is that true? Like, is it reversible to the sense that it is completely gone, or did it just go dormant?
So can you tell us what sugar is first, and then keep answering his question?
Okay.
Yes.
So diabetes, there's two types. So type 1 is you're born with it. It's an autoimmune, something your body just creates. Your body's not able to produce any insulin. Insulin is a component that controls your sugars. It takes all the sugar from inside your blood and puts it back into the cells so you can use that as energy. If the insulin component is not working the way it's supposed to, the sugar stays in your blood and you have really high blood glucose, blood sugars, hence diabetes. They get the diagnostic test, or they confirm that you have diabetes by doing tests that see what your blood sugar has been over a long period of time, which is usually 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other part of that.
So there's some theories and different research. What we have been taught is type 1 and type 2 are non-reversible. And then like gestational diabetes and prediabetes, all those things are reversible. But your type 1 and type 2 are not. So once you are diagnosed with them, you have them for life. Type 1, you will always have to take medication. But if you do things right, type 2, you can diet control it. You won't have to take insulin. You won't have medication. You can eat right, exercise, and live with it for the rest of your life.
So help me understand how pre-diabetes reversible, right? Because I'm assuming they go by A1C levels, right? And if I'm at a 6.5 versus 8.0, but I get my A1C number all the way back down to like a 5.7. Why isn't that considered reversible?
Before you answer that,
well,
can
she
you
did
answer
say
this question
reversible
first? What is A1? I see it on the
But
commercials
you're
all the
still
time.
considered diabetic once you reach that threshold of diabetes.
Okay.
What's the A1C number? Because I see it on the commercial all the time, but I've never known what it is, to be honest with you. So
it's a number that calculates your average blood sugar over a estimated period of time, which is 3 months.
3 months.
Okay.
So it basically estimates what it thinks your daily blood sugar is for the past 3 months and gives you a number.
How does it come up with that? Like, is there a machine? Is there an algorithm? Or are we back to comparing ourselves to people that we don't look like? I'm just asking.
Guidelines. So, yes. For us, we draw some blood and I send it down to lab, and that's all she wrote.
Okay. Can we address the elephant in the room though? Is that a lot of these things are in fact based on people. And I remember, I'll never forget, I used to coach wrestling, and they used to show us pictures of what ringworm looked like, and all the pictures was of white people. I was like, I'm sure that's not what it looked like on a black person. They don't have any. So I say that to say that when you are learning about these things, or when you are doing these, tests and whatnot, like, where is the research and the comparison from one black person to another? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always worry that just like body image, body type, like when we comparing ourselves to people who don't look like us, live like us, you know what I'm saying? Like, it creates this false sense of like what the reality is around some of those things. Not all of them. Like, data is data. If it say you on the verge of something, you on the verge of something. But
so I'm gonna jump in there, John, and Bree, you can back me up on it or whatever. But because I was dealing with pre-diabetes over the last year or so, couple years, and we have gathered enough research from black people that they compare us to other black people now, from what I've seen. Now, like I said, Brianna, you may have something different to say, but I have seen that.
So let me ask this, and Brianna, you may know the answer to this question based off what Mike just said. Is that because Mike has a black doctor? No, I'm not trying to be funny, but black doctors may say, hey, let's research our people to figure out what these levels may be, considering the fact of history. History has not been the levels of black people. The history has been, like we said, we are comparing ourselves to people who don't look like us. So there may be black doctors. I don't have a black doctor. I want to get a black doctor, but Mike has a black doctor. So Mike's doctor very well may have said, yo, let's now go compare, black people, and now we can give the numbers based off of black people to people like Mike or whoever else who has pre-diabetes or may be tested for those, in comparison to my doctor who may say, I ain't heard of that research because I ain't black.
I mean, it could be very valid that a black doctor might just be more invested in figuring out, just for their own good, for knowing why this happens to them, so they can be able to share, my hypertension numbers are this and versus my guidelines. I do know now that the diabetes ones are still like kind of, the guidelines are still solid. They're not really changeable. But as far as hypertension goes, depending on your provider, they can say this is what it's supposed to be. However, they can pull in, this is what African American or black people's numbers have been trending as norm. Mm-hmm. It all depends on the provider and the amount of research they have done or are willing to do.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on eating healthy, like good diet and exercise versus medication?
I am all for the eating right and exercising, I do think a lot of comorbidities can be avoided if we would just eat the way we're supposed to and exercise, and use medication as a backup. Now, some things just require medication. Like if you've let your blood pressure go out of control for so long that your body's starting to form clots, you need a blood thinner. There are some remedies, and and that's a risk you'd be willing to take to see if whatever you're eating or drinking could thin the blood enough to prevent strokes or heart attacks or things like that. But as far as like blood pressure medication and some like even insulin or diabetic medication, things like that can be avoided if we just eat right and exercise. But it's always easier said than done.
Yeah, because
the definition of eating right is different, and everybody's definition of the proper amount and type of exercise is different.
So piggyback off of Donnell's question then is, what about holistic medicine then, where you're not necessarily taking medicine per se, but you're taking herbs and you're doing other things,
medicinal.
That too. That may help, some of the things that traditional, medicine is typically prescribed for.
Yeah, I am not opposed to it. There are certain things that I do think you need medicine for, and my biggest one right now is a blood thinner, just because the research is not strong enough in holistic and herbs and home care. Nothing is strong enough to prove that it'll thin the blood enough to prevent clots that cause strokes and heart attacks. So I do think blood thinners are necessary. Other medications, absolutely. If we know exactly what's in them and how they affect if we are on a blood thinner, then I see no problem with them.
I have a question about those medications. I see those commercials on TV for all these medicines, and then the side effects that come along with some of the medicines. I be like, if you're gonna get itchy booty from taking a medicine that's supposed to cure your, whatever, I'm like, yo, is that worth the, the side effect for the? Like, I just don't. I guess. I mean, I don't have to take none of those, man. Thank God. But I'm like, some of that stuff is weird to me. Like, it's just too much.
Dry throat.
we need a hashtag dry throat.
Dry throat.
Like BDBO. All right.
I don't know. Was that a question?
I don't know. It's just more of a comment. I don't want dry booty from taking
Nah, you said itchy booty.
Itchy booty, leaky booty, itchy booty, all that, John. Yeah.
I don't want any of that. I don't want
none of that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's all about the benefits versus the risks. If it has more risks or it has more like harmful side effects or adverse effects, then it would cause more benefit. Then you don't need to take it, or there can be an alternative, or and there's some medications out there. First of all, there's several medications to anything that you need, but if one medication causes itchy booty and you don't like it, I am 100% sure there's another medication that does exactly the same thing that may not cause itchy booty.
So, question, and I don't know how much you may know of this because I know it's like specifically a doctor thing. So let me say this first of all before I even get to that part. I like to give nurses their props because, in my opinions, y'all do a hell of a lot more than doctors do. Doctors come in and be like, "All right, here you go, bye." Like nurses take all the damn vitals, they take the blood, they do all the stuff that doctors don't want to get their little pretty hands done, dirty with. And nurses, so props out to you for and all the rest of the nurses. I know John's wife is a nurse, and I know a bunch of other nurses. So props out to you and all the nurses out there.
Tread lightly, Ty.
So
you got
Bree,
a doctor on here.
Now you know what my wife got to deal with, because I ask these stupid questions all the time.
But so how big is it? How literally? I mean, it was a documentary me and my wife watched or something. I don't know. It was something where literally they come in and they're pretty much trying to sell these medications all the time to doctors, so doctors can prescribe them to their patients. Is that like a big thing still, or is that something that you see as far as, you know, people or pharmaceutical reps and so forth coming in saying, hey, let's try the brand new X, Y, and Z that will stop, you know, hypertension, or that will X, Y, and Z, and you can prescribe this to your people, and then the doctors get paid off of how much they prescribe. Is that something that you are familiar with?
As far as what they get paid, or
no. I mean, as far as it being a thing,
it is a thing. And I only know that personally because I am currently in NP school, and when I was doing my clinicals with the nurse practitioner I was with, they came in and did, like, a pharmaceutical company came in and did an in-service, and they're like, let's try out blah 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 and see if you like it better than whatever we already have on the market. And I know personally one, like, pharmaceutical rep who goes around to different hospitals and he tries to sell these newer medications and, like, compared to the older ones. So it is still a thing.
Hey, Bree, have you? I know you said you work in the ICU. Is that right? So I don't know if they do this in the ICU or not. Have you had, like, reps come into the ICU? Probably not the ICU, and, like, show the doctors how to put in different things. It happens. No, and I'm not explaining it right. I'm not explaining it right. In the operating room,
why you got itchy booty, John?
In the operating room, where my wife works, when they are using different, like, if they're putting in a new hip for somebody, there'll be a rep that sells these hips in the room, like, dressed out like the nurses and the doctors, who is telling the doctor how to put the hip in correctly.
Get out of here.
Like, so there are people, non-medical professionals, who are actually in these operating rooms.
Does the patient sign off on that?
They don't have to. If you want your piece, if you want your whatever you getting put in correctly, you're gonna want that person in the room.
So I'm not a medical professional, but I've seen that, like, on, like, The Resident. I feel like The Resident, I think, or one of these doctor shows, you know what I'm saying, that I've seen that, you know, that exists, but I'm not sure if that's, like, real life.
I know.
Is it?
I don't. In the ICU, they don't come.
Probably not. Yeah.
By for the doctors, they come by for the nurses. So we have lots of, like, since we're talking about itchy booty, there's this thing called a rectal tube, and you can put it in someone's bottom if they're having lots of diarrhea. It catches all the poop. They'll come by. We just got a new one. They come by and they show us exactly how to insert the rectal tube. Or there's Life Vest. They'll come by and show us.
Yeah, no. That's why I'm not medical professional.
Or Foley's, like the catheter that helps people pee when they can't pee. If there's a new one, they'll come by and show us exactly how to use it. So not so much doctor motivated in the ICU, it's more nurse driven, but we see a lot of reps all the time with new things that they want us to use and how to use it. And it can be frustrating because they come by so much. And if you're not there to see it, you're lost.
So you're getting tested. You're getting tested on all the time. Don't go in there. You got they testing on you.
Pretty much.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. So we've hit high blood pressure. We've hit diabetes, heart disease. You know, I want to catch this real quick. There are different types of heart disease. You gave a different name, I guess the proper name for it earlier.
Cardiovascular heart disease. Yeah. Okay. It's like a umbrella term. And it can, I have the
remember, you gotta dumb it down for us.
I know, but I gotta hold that thought.
And while you looking it up, tell your ass what can be done for that persistent cough. That symptom of dry throat. Aha, she got you, Donnell.
Nah, she ain't got me.
Toya, who coughing?
It's allergies.
Lord. All right. So, cardiovascular disease is the general term for conditions that affect the heart or its blood vessels. So that typically means, so it's an umbrella term for, like, coronary artery disease, heart attacks, and heart failure are your three top ones that affect the heart. So heart attacks, pretty much the blood flow to a certain part of the heart muscle is blocked, whether it's a clot, usually it's a clot, and that part of the heart can't beat, therefore it just stops. It's a heart attack. Heart failure, the heart is not able to pump the blood appropriately to where it's supposed to go, whether it's back to the body or whether it's to the lungs, get it from the lungs, it just can't pump the blood the way it's supposed to. So blood pools, leads to swelling, other things. And then people who have cardiovascular disease are at increased risk for strokes due to clots.
I was just about to say, I was about to ask that question. What's the difference between a stroke and a heart attack? Because I feel like when I see both on TV, I've never seen this person actually have one in real life, but they always grab their chest for either one.
So they both involve clots. A heart attack is a clot in the heart, and a stroke is a clot in the brain.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, but why they grab? Never mind.
Yeah, well, I was getting ready to say, I was getting ready to jump on that. The brain, signals any part of the body. Depending on where that clot is in the brain, it can signal any part of the body, and that would cause you to clench, your chest, or clutch your chest, or maybe your arm, just whatever.
There's an acronym they use.
Grow up down there. Grow up. We got a young lady on the show.
Hold my butt. Hey, John mentioned itchy booties, though. That might be the signal in your brain.
He opened the door. He opened the door for the whole conversation.
All right.
No, what's that acronym? What's that acronym?
It's called FAST, and it's face, arms, speech, timing.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
But
in the hospital, yes.
Yeah. So it's important that if you think someone's having a stroke, there's multiple types of, there's a few types of strokes. The most important one is being a bleed. So a stroke, a clot can cause a brain bleed. And different things have to happen depending on what stroke it is. So I believe, don't quote me, you have a 90-minute window from someone who's having an active stroke to figure out that they're having a stroke. So take them to get tested and then do everything you can to reverse or contain the stroke.
Wow. 90 minutes? That's it. I guess 90 minutes seems like a long time, but I guess when it's happening, it ain't.
And you talk about 30 minutes for the ambulance.
Some people be having like massive gas and be, like be having them gas bubbles.
Yeah.
That's what caused the itchy booty. You be grabbing your chest like what's really going on.
Yeah, man.
90 minutes does it seems like a long time, but it I guess it's really not when you trying to figure out all them symptoms and then be able to figure out a solution before that 90 minutes is up. That's a good one. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say that the heart disease portion is a portion that I am familiar with now. Those of you who have been watching the show know that I've been kind of going through some issues, and heart disease is one of the issues that I'm going through. Heart failure, to be, specific, and Nurse Bree did touch on that. So you can take me off the, but I just want to say that with heart failure, there's like weak heart, and as Nurse Bree said, that it's just not pushing blood to the portions of the body that it needs to. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. So, as we continue through the season and, the years to go, I will keep you updated on where I am with that. But, that was something that's near and dear to my heart. My heart.
So yeah, so is there anything, and I mean, Bree, is there anything that not specifically Mike, but people like Mike who have heart failure or heart disease, things like that? What could they do to be able to? And please don't say take these pills. But what what can they do to prevent those issues?
So the biggest thing I see with heart failure is there's different types of heart failure, but generally the biggest thing we see with heart failure is swelling, and your legs start to swell. We're not talking about pills, but you could do diet modifications. So there is like a plate specific to people who have heart failure, and it'll tell them the amount of sodium they need to have in one day, the amount of fluids they need to have. I know when our patients come in, depending on what type of exacerbation they're in, they might only be able to get like 800 milliliters to 1 liter of fluid a day.
Wow.
Just because the more fluids you're putting in your body has to then correlate for that. And if your heart can't already pump it out the way it's supposed to, it's just pooling. So you're just swelling up in layman's terms. So dieting is a big one. Exercising is another big one. Those are the two lifestyle modifications if we're not talking about pills.
So I have a question about that, because you said exercising is a big one. Are you supposed to start off kind of like I feel like in at least I've heard, and maybe in Mike's situation, where like exercise could be detrimental for him at this point.
So it all depends on what stage of heart failure you are in. So if we're going based off of the very beginning and you are still in a good stage and your EF, or your ejection fraction, so the percent of blood that's actually making it to where it's supposed to, is still at a fairly good number, then moderate exercise, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. There's exactly like a chart on the diet and the exercise for heart failure patients and each stage that they're in.
Wow.
Because the hospital I work at, we just got accredited for something heart failure related. I don't know. Yeah, bad me. But they take it really serious, and they have this whole book, and it has pages and pages on like lifestyle modifications, but also pages on the importance of certain medications depending on what stage of heart failure you're in. Now, if you're in the later stage where you're only like 20 or 15% of your blood is making it where it's supposed to be, then yes, exercise could be detrimental. But the point of getting it diagnosed early is hopefully you're in one of those upper stages where exercise can actually help.
And so that's the I'm glad you said that. That's the whole point of this show, is the early stages. We want to get information out to people so that if they feel like anything that they need to bring up to their doctor during their physical, and again, as Black people, we need, as people period, but as Black people, go to the doctor at least once a year and get a physical, and this is the time that you could talk to your doctors about that. I personally, my fraction was really low, and so that's why they kind of told me not to do any exercise right now until, and this goes back to what Bree was saying, where medication is necessary versus could balance it out. They put me on some medications to help my heart get to a point where I can start to exercise again. So there's everybody's different. Every situation is different. But the main thing that I want to get across and that this show is about is prevention and catching stuff in the early stages.
So as we wrap up, Bree, because we are getting ready to wrap up in a minute, like speaking what Mike is talking about, like I know you said exercise, diet, I guess, you're giving a few things there. overall, when it comes to the health of Black men specifically, since this is a man cave, what all can we do to prevent? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I have a follow-up to my physical tomorrow. I had some cholesterol issues earlier in the year, had to do some blood work, all that good stuff, and I got a follow-up or a second follow-up tomorrow for my. But what can we do as Black men, or what questions can we even ask our doctors or nurses to help us be able to figure some of this stuff out?
So lab work is big because everything is like cholesterol, the pro-BNP, things like that, like your cardiac markers, the A1C, they can trend those if you go every year. So, like,
is that something we have to ask for, or do they automatically do it?
Sometimes you have to ask for it, which it shouldn't be the case. But I know when I go to my doctor, I have to ask for it. Can I get my labs drawn? And she'll be like, oh, okay. So I would ask for labs annually just so you have a trend. So, are these going up? Are these going down? Is this going the right way? Like, because sometimes there's guidelines. So there's levels where your number should be, and that might not be the case for you. So you can ask, is this okay for me being a Black male? Or is this okay for me considering what my numbers were the past couple of years? I would, as far as just Black health in general, or health in general, I know tobacco abuse, probably shouldn't do it.
My cigars.
Alcohol in moderation.
Moderation.
No more Angry Orchard for a time.
The tall ones.
You know what? That's okay. I'm gonna keep drinking my Angry Orchards. As you were saying,
in moderation.
In moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess as far as questions you can ask, like, I'm trying to think. As far as a big one that people tend to overthink, they think it's the lungs. Shortness of breath can be more cardiac related than it can be respiratory. So if you are walking to the mailbox and notice that you're all of a sudden you're a little more winded than you normally are, you can mention that, hey, I was walking to the mailbox, I'm a little more winded than I normally am. Is this normal? Can I do something about it? Things like that. But as far as
you can drag an oxygen tank to that member. We stop.
Gotta get my mail.
Oh man.
Okay, so yeah, that we've hit a lot of precursors. We've hit a lot of things to look for. I think the takeaway for this, and the most important thing for this, is see a doctor. Damn it.
Yeah.
At least once a year, see a doctor, just so they can chart, like Nurse Bree was saying, so they can chart a trend for things that are going on in your life. See a doctor.
What you didn't touch on, and I don't know if this is the big thing. I know we can wrap up, so I don't want to go into it, but also know your family medical history.
Yes.
Your family medical history, because a lot of things can be passed down to you that you didn't even realize that that may affect you in the long run. So, especially with heart disease and things like that as well. So, but Bree, we appreciate you, Nurse Bree. I know you said don't call you, just call you Bree, but Nurse Bree, again, I'm just saying I appreciate you as a nurse, because again, I think nurses do a hell of a lot more than doctors do. Thus, y'all should be paid as much, if not more. But that's my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. So we appreciate you as far as the nurse is concerned, and we definitely appreciate you for coming on the show and answering some of our ignorant questions about dry throat and things of such. But no, we appreciate you for coming on and helping us, specifically educate us on things that we should ask, things that we should be on the lookout for, and because it's a lot of stuff that I don't even know that you addressed. So that's why I was like, what is A1C? Because I've never heard of A1C. Those questions like that, I've never heard of them. So
we need them.
We need them, and we appreciate you for breaking those things down. Again, us men, we're simple. You ain't got to go all high. You was all in doctor terms with us and all that good stuff. But we appreciate you for breaking it down for us.
Yes,
well,
thank
you. Cheerios to bring down your cholesterol.
They say that's what they say on the commercial. Breathe some Cheerios. I take some black seed oil and some other stuff that I see.
It's the plain Cheerios, not the honey.
The honey nut Cheerios. Yeah, or the apple cinnamon joints is the ones I like. Yeah. But anyway,
everybody's chiming in. Thank you, Bree.
Exactly. Thank you, Bree. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Millionaire M.A.N right here on Relationship Entertainment Television. Again, special shout out to our special guest, Nurse Bree, for bringing us some good health information for us, specifically African American males or black males or Hispanic males or whatever we were talking about.
Latinx.
We appreciate Bree. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all catch us next time. Same place, same time, 8 p.m. Tuesdays on Relationship Entertainment Television. We out. Peace.